Okay, so today what we're looking at is we're looking at fractions and percentages, and we're looking at the relationship between the two. Now, when we're talking about fractions and when we're talking about percentages and when we're talking about decimals, all of those things are part of a whole number. So they're all less than 1. Okay, so we're talking about the numbers that sit on the number line between 0, okay, and 1. All right, so that's where fractions and decimals and percentages sit. Now, obviously we can convert between fractions and percentages. And we're going to run through a few quick ways that you can convert a fraction to a percentage. When we start converting fractions to percentages, it's a very easy process, and I will go through that at the end. But firstly, the first way that you can do it, and the easiest way to do it, is through the use of equivalent fractions. So, when we have a fraction here and we've got 2/5, if I can turn my denominator into 100, okay, every single fraction that has a denominator of 100, the top of the fraction, the numerator, just becomes whatever it is as a percentage. So 2/5, if I multiply this by 20, okay, and I end up with 40 over 100, that equals 40%, okay? Easy, really, really simple stuff. Now, the problem is that sometimes we get fractions that we can't get to 100. And for that example, we've got 3/7 here. So we can't turn 7 into 100, okay? So what we need to do is we need to find it a few different ways. The first one that we can do is we can multiply the fraction by 100%. And that's really easy. All we do is we go times 100 over 1, okay? So by multiplying your fraction by 100 over 1, it will end up giving us what it is as a percentage. So obviously we look to see if we can cross cancel. Okay, we can't cross cancel in this instance, so we go 3 times 100, which gives us 300, and then 7 times 1, which gives us 7. Then obviously we've got some simplifying to do. Now this is a percentage. As soon as you multiply by 100 over 1, you get a percentage. So now we need to find out how many times 7 goes into 300. There's no quick way of doing it. You can go 300 divided by 7, and we can do that right now. So 7 goes into 30 times, it goes into 30 4 times with a remainder of 2, okay, and it goes into 22 times with a remainder of 6. Now that remainder is really important because I'll show you what we're going to do with that. What we get here is we get 42, okay, 42, there are holes, and then we have a remainder of 6, and that 6 goes over the 7. So 3/7 as a percentage is 42 and 6/7%, okay? Now, that's one way of finding it out if you have a fraction that you can't turn into a denominator of 100. The other way that you can do is just turn this into a decimal, okay? And how we turn that into a decimal is we basically do what it says. Remember, a vinculum means divide. So we do 3 divided by 7. So let's do 3 divided by 7. So 7 goes into 30 times, and we put in our decimal, we put a 0 here, and it's obviously got a remainder of 3. 3 goes into 30, 7, 14, 21, 28, 4 times, with a remainder of 2, okay? 7 goes into 22 times, with a remainder of 6, and it goes into 60, what's that, 45, 52, 59, 35, 42, 49, 56, which gives us 8, 56, 63, yep, 8, 56 with a remainder of 4. Now at this point I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop right there because I've got 3 decimal places. I've taken my answers to 3 decimal places, and that's probably about enough, okay? Now, to turn a decimal, so we've got our decimal number there, which is 0.428. To turn that into a percentage, all we do is we move the decimal place 2 places to the right, okay? And then put a percentage sign after it. So, 42.8%, okay? Obviously, this is not as accurate as that answer. It's very, very close. It's very, very close. But to achieve the 6/7, we would need to continue our division going along. You can use either of those methods. It really doesn't matter. Okay, so to turn fractions into percentages, you've got 3 strategies. The first one, if you can turn the denominator into 100, do that through our use of equivalent fractions. It's really simple. The second one, which is a very effective way as well, is by multiplying by 100 over 1. The third way is to turn your fraction into a decimal and then turn your decimal number, your decimal answer, into a percentage. Okay, all 3 of those work. Now, when we come back the other way, let's say I want to turn 25 over 50 into a percentage. All I do once again is I turn my denominator into 100, okay? Or sorry, no, we've done that already, okay? Don't worry about that. When we want to turn a percentage into a fraction, so let's say I've got 63%, okay, and I want to turn that into a fraction. All I need to do is do 63 over 100, okay? And then obviously you simplify. So any percentage could be 12%, okay? Into a fraction, you just do 12 over 100 and simplify. If you have a whole number, so let's just say I've got one that's like 1 and 60 over, let's say I've got 128%. All I do is I do 128 over 100 and simplify, and then I have a mixed number. So going from percentages to fractions is very, very easy. You just put the percentage over 100, but it's a little bit trickier when you turn fractions into percentages, particularly if you can't have a denominator that you can get to 100. But they're the strategies.